Prison correctional staff and the Kentucky State Police are on the front lines daily, standing guard for us. They are committed to serving the Commonwealth. But for years, we as a state have failed to give them significant raises. Now, we are in a crisis in corrections with high turnover rates. A Kentucky State Trooper will make less than the average of the 7 states bordering us, and recruitment is becoming very difficult. Folks, it's time we stand up for those who stand guard for us.
The Department of Corrections is currently experiencing the most severe staffing shortage in its history. Some institutions' vacancy rates exceed 35%. That's 1 of every 3 positions is vacant.
Our institution is so short-staffed right now that they are having probation and parole officers come in and assist us.
When you're calling other institutions and begging them to send your staff to that institution to work their days off, you know you've got a problem. When you're asking probation and parole to come in and work a correctional officer's job, you know you've got a problem.
In addition to the vacancy rates, the staff turnover rate is astounding. In 2014, the turnover rate for the department was 67%. In 2015, that number continues to be at the same pattern and may even exceed the previous year.
It's been about a month since I've had a day off, and some of those days have been 12, 16-hour days. As an institution, in the last week, it's been about 1,700 hours of overtime, with only about 60 hours of comp time that's been used.
There's no reason for staff to stay because we don't have a retention pay. And we have a lot of staff turnover, which creates stressful environments for people that work there because they are underpaid and overworked.
Some of the people that I trusted a lot, when I go to work, I felt confident doing my job because I know I had good backup. Those people walk away and find other jobs because they can't afford to work there.
During the past 12 months, 145 corrections employees have been employed. During that same 12-month period, 164 employees have separated service. That's 145 hired, 164 leaving. You can see that we cannot afford to continue that same trend.
It's dangerous for them to work short-staffed. It's dangerous for the public to work short-staffed. Because whenever your staff are fatigued mentally and physically, you make mistakes. And when mistakes are made, people's lives are put in danger.
Most of us go to work every day hoping nothing happens today, because we know we're shorthanded. The inmates know the same thing, and that the response time might not be what it would be like if we weren't, because that gives them an opportunity to do something. They know that's their best opportunity to do something.
So what efforts have been taken to date? Mandatory overtime being the most. Employees who are trying to make a career of corrections are requiring to work 5 12-hour posts. Some are being required to work double shifts of 16 hours. Likewise, administrative, program, and support personnel are covering positions that are normally occupied by security personnel. As you can see, these are stopgap measures that only allow the institution to survive from day to day. They do not address the true problem of staff pay and staff turnover. to attract professional, qualified corrections employees, a substantial pay increase is necessary. But I happen to believe that our employees are far above average. However, with that said, the national average for correctional employee pay is far above what Kentucky employees make today.
When you make something a career and you put so much time and effort into it, it is really hard to see that you're not getting any more benefits regardless of how long you stay or how much effort you put into it to gain the knowledge or to do your job better.
We're pretty much trying to field who we can get in here to put in a uniform and give them a job. I mean, I hate to say it like this, but we're competing for McDonald's for staff.
If I go into corrections and work 10 years, someone can go into McDonald's and work 10 years and be being paid more than I am. And it almost just doesn't seem fair. And that discourages a lot of good people. People that like their jobs and are good at it.
We don't offer them any incentive to stay. We don't offer them anything except a paycheck every 2 weeks that if they've had to work overtime, their tax amount is doubled of what's been taken out.
The legislative and the executive branches must fund a career ladder program. Note that I said must fund because the career ladder program has already been established. In 2002, the legislature in their wisdom recognized the need for a career ladder program. It provided for pay increments of 5% following an employee's 2nd, 4th, 6th, 8th, and 10th years. Unfortunately, however, that money was never provided and employees never received it. In order to retain good qualified professional employees, there must be an incentive such as the Career Ladder program in place.
The state of Kentucky has already spent over $5 million just in overtime costs this year. Huge amounts of money is being shifted from operating the facilities to hiring and training new employees. If we took this money and we shifted it to fully funding the career ladder, that would give us a workforce that is refreshed and ready versus a workforce that is overworked and tired.
Troopers are trained to win, they're trained to survive the fight, they're trained to take control of every situation and restore order in an effort to preserve life.
Training that you're about to receive will be extremely demanding. You'll be challenged both physically and mentally on a daily basis, but you will be trained well.
You never stop training to be a state trooper. We have 40 hours of mandatory training that we have to go through every year. That's not even counting extra training that you might volunteer for.
Our training is elite as compared to Navy SEALs or Special Forces, if you will, in the military. And it has to be that way because of the environment that we work in.
It takes a very skilled and well-trained individual to be able to be that professional in all of their citizen contacts and yet be prepared to protect themselves and their very life at a moment's notice. But each time you go on a call or even approach a vehicle on a traffic stop, you would be naive if you weren't preparing yourself for violence. And so that there's a real impact on our troopers and on their families. Each time a trooper goes to work, the real mental anguish is that you don't know what to expect.
I always envisioned taking gunfire first, because the thing about being a police officer is it's extremely reactionary. You're always at the short end of the stick when that type of violence comes your way, because it's presented to you. Very seldom do you see it coming. So we have to react to that. And they train us to fight to win, react to the situation and win the situation.
It's a very dangerous time to be in policing. And it's also a time in which we need personnel that are measured and professional and respectful in their service delivery. That is really the challenge of law enforcement, is that at any one moment, a moment that you can't predict, you could be fighting for your life. And yet, that same interaction with the public, you're expected to be a model of professionalism and decorum, and to be a respectful civil servant. So that's really the crux of why it's difficult to police.
Often asked what goes on during academy training for the Kentucky State Police. From doesn't that require a lot of yelling to what does it take to get through it? From day one, when the cadets get here, we instill discipline. From getting up early to making their racks, telling them when to do everything, how to wear their uniform properly, and everything that's included in our regime. Well, some of these cadets have never had any direct guidance or counseling or mentorship in their life, so we feel that they need that. Basically, we tell them everything that you knew before you got here, you can leave at the door. Some people might think that we're just here to yell at them, but we're here to train them. We do this to give them the best possible training to develop them into a trooper who understands the rich heritage of the Kentucky State Police. With that being said, the title trooper is never given, it is only earned.
If we're going to continue to ask young men and women to take on that level of responsibility and train them accordingly, you have to make an incentive to recruit them and to retain them. So, in my opinion, if the retirement landscape remains as it is now, the path of least resistance, in the short run at least, is to increase the pay of new hires and to address this wage compensation, or wage compression rather, that we're seeing by developing some sort of stepped pay increases that young people can look forward to and count upon. As it is now, we have wage stagnation with employees that haven't seen a raise since 2006. So that's why I'm here today, is to advocate on their behalf and really on behalf of the Commonwealth, so that we can make these changes and provide an incentive for young, educated, dedicated professionals to be able to pursue a career in corrections or in law enforcement.
The Kentucky State Police and staff have not received a significant raise since 2006. For example, a trooper with 5 years experience will make $10,000 less than the 7 states average bordering us. With 15 years experience, it's $20,000 less. When that trooper retires, it's $26,000 less. Folks, it's time we take this seriously and give the raises that they so deserve. Share this video, contact your state representative, contact your senator, and contact your governor. If you need to know the contact information for those people, visit our website at paythebadge.com. But most importantly, it's time we stand up for those who stand guard for us.